Hello, everyone, and welcome to How Many Dudes, which is similar to Game Tabs, the totally accurate battle simulator, except much sillier, and I mean, if that's possible, and much simpler and a roguelite sort of. What's going on with these double images? Anyway. As you can see, we are jumping in at round 80, so I've already done 80 fights. I'm guessing around 100 is maybe an ending point. Not sure, this is my first run. But it's been moderately fun, so I thought we'll just record the last 20 fights. Or maybe there's more. That's the merchant, okay. So here you can see our current army, which is 39 clerics. The clerics heal every 2 seconds for their DPS amount. And they will target the lowest health dudes, and they do like an AoE around that guy and split the healing evenly among all the allies hit by the AoE, which is not, the best. I'd prefer just go to a really injured guy until he's fully healed, but I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how it works. I just know what it says here. And what I have seen, which is hard to decipher. So we are mainlining clerics because they are, frankly, overpowered. I'm pretty sure. As you can see, they do massive amounts of DPS in addition to massive amounts of healing. Now, I have buffed them quite a bit. As you can see, they got 30% more damage here for being the top slot, which comes from these relics over here. We've got a whole bunch of them at this point. And we very early on got this incense holder, which also increases their damage by 30%, which makes them much, much better at both healing and killing things. And then we got the Ring of Shielding, which allows them to over-shield people, so if they heal more than somebody's max hit points, then it provides them temporary hit points. And yeah, we got a whole bunch of stuff here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can pause and read if you would like. Basically, it's just a bunch of stuff that I've been really focusing on clerics and necromancers and zombies, and anything that will help them to stay alive or do more damage. Just focusing on sustainability, really. Which is kind of funny because I started off with the zombies early on, and their thing is for every guy that has been knocked out in your army, they gain more damage, and it's AoE damage cleave. And they also recover very quickly from being knocked out themselves. But the thing is, they've got more health than anybody else in my crew, so they're actually the last ones to get knocked out, which doesn't really work too well. I mean, they naturally have 200 hit points, which is way more than these other guys. So I've just gone ahead and leaned into it and buffed up their hit points even more and given them taunt, so they're kind of our tanks now. And then we've got some knight dudes and paladin dudes that I'm not focused on at all. And necro dudes, which I started getting later, but I really wanted to pair the necro dudes and the zombie dudes because that seems like a natural synergy. The necros summon skeletons, and if the skeleton dies, they summon another one, and each of those that goes down, as I assumed it would, does count for buffing up the zombies. So that's a natural synergy there. But I didn't get any necromancers for a really long time, and I got clerics, so I just ended up speccing into clerics because it was the only way to win, basically, and They're super, super good. So yeah, right now our next fight is going to be 19 large bees and 500 small bees. And cannot be targeted by cleave attacks. Fantastic. Wonderful. That's so good for our build. We do have another method of AoE thanks to our artifacts. Whenever the zombies get healed, they do an AoE around them for some amount of that. This holy symbol one is so good too. Whenever our clerics are gonna die, they don't once per round, and they do a massive heal. We've actually got a number of things that prevent our clerics from dying, which is excellent. We've also got consumables over here: Dew Juice, Strange Spores, Burner Foam, Bottled Lightning, Meteor, Pocket Dice. So these are just damages, like consumable damage things that you can throw out there. This teleports and buffs our guys. This basically makes our entire army one large health pool for 3 seconds. And this revives people when they go down. That just allows us to reroll. So this is a boss fight. We're going to see how it goes. We can pause. So as you can see, there's tiny bees everywhere. There's these larger bees, and our guys are kind of spread out. We'll slow it down so that we can going to go ahead and drop the meteor. Maybe over here to help out these clerics. After action score, we had 5 clerics go down, 5 necro dudes, 2 knights, 1 paladin, and 18 skeletons. It's a pretty gnarly fight. Usually I don't lose anybody. As you can see here, we got massive damage out of the clerics. We actually got even more massive damage out of the zombies, which I think is a first. And that'll just be from tons of AoEs from the heal, I assume. 37,000 was from expired skin cream. Yeah, that's the one. Does 3 times the healing in an AoE around him. So yeah, because there were so many enemies, they did massive damage with that. And then 13,000 of this was from clerical error. Also are damaging enemies. Pretty massive. As you can see, nothing else came remotely close. Skeledudes and the Necro dudes together only did 15.4k. So it's pretty much all clerics and zombies pulling the weight here. Not to say the Necro dudes are useless, because they do soak up a lot of damage. They can just keep summoning more skeletons forever as long as the Necro Dudes don't go down, so that is an important point to remember. They have massive sustaining power. But my god, 27k damage prevented and 29k damage taken by the clerics. That's crazy. Anyway, let's get our 448 bucks and we'll take another Necro Dude. And we get, after each boss fight, we have a relic to select. We can also use our pocket dice to re-roll if we don't like any of these. So, Paladins, we do not care about this run. Cut the Strange Spores cost in half and increase healing on everybody by 100% while they're under that effect for 3 seconds. That's not bad, but it's so rare that I use that. I would like something that's active all the time. Cleric Dudes, Divine, Pulse gains increased healing on dudes with lower health. Now that sounds awesome. I'd love to know how much more. The healing increase is equal to the target dude's missing health percentage. Whoa. So if they're healing somebody who's at 20% health, it's going to increase their heal by 80%. That's insane. That is so bonkers. We're going to be so much more overpowered now. Oh, wow. So, we do have quite a few guys down. We could use a Dude Juice, which, don't ask of the name. I'm certainly not going to revive all those guys, or we could just go on because having those guys down is actually giving our zombies massive cleave. 365%, so every 100% is basically just another attack that they do as an AoE, or is another target that they hit when they attack. So they're currently hitting like 4 targets at a time. So arguably, I would say since we've only got 5 clerics down, let's not bother. What's up next? 1 polar bear, 13 horses, 358 goats over here. Wow, that seems like it might be a scarier fight than this one, actually. And we got fights going up here, and then the merchants, more fights, then a Dude Whisperer. Then at 100 is a boss encounter. Yeah, we'll see if we can get there. Select our dude types up here, and it'll show us their stats here. Cycle through each of the individual dudes in that group. Oh yeah, our zombies also do more damage the closer they are to other zombies, which is really huge. Everybody's healing themselves 10% of the time when they do damage. We've got a lot of sustained Maybe they threw us a bone after the boss fight. So nobody lost. More necro dudes. And we got a bonus regular dude. Regular dudes don't really do anything special. And when you get to the Dude Whisperer, you can pay to turn them into other kinds of dudes. Traveling Shockwave. Those dudes. Hunter will sometimes seek out low health dudes and leap on them. Right. Yeah, the Alpha Wolves can be scary. Horse-sized ducks are also pretty hard-hitting, and the gorillas are pretty hard-hitting, so this might be kind of gnarly fight. But we'll see how it goes. Guys are now healing for 75 DPS, and then they can do like up to double that. Pretty insane. Just a lot of Gibbs. Okay. More clerics is always welcome. And these guys that are knocked out right now, they will come back in a certain amount of time. Like for the clerics, it takes 5 rounds. I think there's 1 round left there. Or no, there's 1 round left for 5 guys. Lots more guys next round. 29 wolves and 1 polar bear, that seems easy. Yeah, that guy's got a lot of health. But he is helpless nonetheless. Zombies, got another burner phone. It's the teleport and buff consumable. Useful if you've got, you know, some guys that are getting completely surrounded, then you can teleport them out of there. They really like the polar bears. 2 feral hogs this time. And we got all of our guys back up. Which unfortunately means our zombies are not doing... Skeletons aren't bad. 26 DPS. Man, they just punched his crotch until he died. Not a good way to go. Okay, so we have hit the merchants. I always want more artifacts because they are super powerful. Paladins, don't care. Ancient sword, taunt. We only do that once per fight, don't really care. Let's get the meteor in case we need it at some point. And then we'll take our free restock. free restock each time. Load a dice, reduce the merchant cost of pocket dice by 50%, and pocket dice has a 50% chance to not be consumed when used. That would be really good, except I basically have never used the pocket dice. Actually, I literally have never used my pocket dice. So I think that would be a waste. Marrow Scooper. When a Necrodude takes fatal damage, he sacrifices a Skeledude to heal himself for 100% of the Skeledude's max hit points. The Necrodude can do this once every 5 seconds? That's insane! Oh my god! Our Necromancers are never gonna die again. Let's do another restock. Got enough for one more artifact. When a dude gets knocked out, all active dudes gain 20% run speed for the remainder of the round. Expect to stack up 50 times? Okay, that could be entertaining. I don't know how helpful it's going to be. Sequin face. Invest all dudes gain 5% increased evasion. I mean, that's going to make them harder to kill. Sounds good to me. Get a burner phone, why not? 101 wolves. Artifacts like this is making our clerics unbeatable. I do think that they need to tone down the penalties on the clerics. Because, I mean, you can't be doing the same DPS as, like, DPS units and healing on top of that. That's just not fair. They have lower max hit points than most units, but still. You definitely prefer clerics. And we got some more reg dudes. 3 silverback gorillas. I'm not sure I've seen silverbacks, but I assume they're pretty tough. Mechanic, 130% hit points, trampling dudes. Yep. People around. Alright. Well, I don't think that'll be any trouble. Unless the silverbacks showing. More clerics. More clerics, more healing, more invincible. 4 big bees. 5 stallions, 7 gorillas, not a problem. Okay, let's do Clerics do good, man. Nobody dies. Do we want more necro dudes or more zombies? So call. I feel like I have more artifact buffs for the zombies. So I think we're gonna go with that. Got 2 juice for free. This is basically like the same fight as 2 fights ago, isn't it? They just get sleepy sometimes. And then they have to, you know, take a nap while, I guess we'll go Paladin here since they bless people to make them a little tankier.
Oh yeah!
Do Whispers here so we can turn our 3 regular dudes into Knights, Clerics, or Necromancers. It seems like the price is based on how many you have already. Starting at like $50 and then probably up 2 per guy you have. So Clerics pretty expensive to get at this point. But they're so good. I mean, we could just get a couple of Knight dudes just to give them a whole lot more hit points. Do some tanking. Yeah, so our guys take some naps while everybody else jumps on them to revive them. Not even fair. The 100 boss fight here. Death Rattle. All dudes gain 2% damage per unconscious dude up to a maximum of 20%. That's the problem. I never get unconscious dudes. I mean, it would be good to have. If we do get into a tough fight later on here and we actually start losing people, 20% more damage would be very welcome. Tattered Shoes, gain 5% speed and 2% max hit points for each zombie on your team. Ooh. Stacks up to 5 times, so that's just 10% more max hit points for everybody. 25% run speed, I mean, it's good. But I don't really care much for max hit points, because, you know, that doesn't do much for us. I care about, like, how fast we can heal and how much we can mitigate the incoming damage so it can actually sustain instead of just getting a little more runway. Although we do have some stuff that is based on, like, scales on max hit points, I suppose. But I feel like Death Rattle, because 20% more damage will also be 20% more healing. Actually, 40% more healing. Again, doubled on very low hit point targets. So yeah, let's get Death Rattle. I mean, I would like to get both of them, but we just can't afford it. Barely. sell stuff. But I cannot. Restock, we'll grab some strange spores. What's this? Some dudes gain 10% toughness and 10% max hit points, and they receive 30% more healing. No! No, that's so good! Oh my god, that would make them so tanky, dude. All dudes take 10%. Bro. I've been robbed. Call the police. We're actually waiting. We've got a huge investment matures. We invested like $3,000 or something into a double your money investment. So it's gonna pay off in like 2 rounds here. Damage that drops his health below 30%. He gains 100% lead for 3 seconds. It's okay. Anytime a dude receives healing, he gains 1% attack speed for the rest of the round. Stack up to 20 times. Ooh. Dude, we have so much healing going on, that's gonna stack up real fast. It's AoE healing, so I'm pretty sure we're taking that. Skeledudes lose 10%, which is also going to increase the healing amount. Skeledudes lose 10% of their health every second and cause damage to surroundings, so skeletons just give up their life force for AoE damage, which would be a way of actually getting unconscious dudes to buff up our zombies, and then the more we get summoned. So that's not terrible, but we're gonna go with it. Or just skip to the Paladin or Knight.
Oh yeah! Cha-ching!
Okay, we finally got our money. 6,000, nice. We'll be able to... Oh, that's our trained dudes returning. In a few rounds, we will have the merchant back and be able to spend lots of that money on buffing ourselves up. Plus rounds in the demo. I don't actually know what the difference between the demo and the full game is going to be. This is already a pretty fleshed out game. Definitely takes yeah, these are easy fights. I'm not impressed. They did take out one Necro dude. So, tell your friends about that. We finally got our 3 Knight dudes that were trained. Don't think that's going to make a huge difference, but they will, you know, help us out in the first few seconds of the fight at least. Just wait to get it. And now, oversized pauldrons and paladins. I mean, 10% more toughness for Paladin's Blessing targets is really good if we had more than 6 Paladins. So infrequently, I feel like you should get a chance to buy like one of each consumable every restock. Like they should be all available and you just buy one consumable per restock. Then this sort of thing would make more sense. You could like specialize in strange spores and get them for cheap each time. And 100% more healing from all sources. It's crazy. Yeah, that could be really helpful in a tough fight. Gotta take the burner phone, why not? And we'll take dude juice. I'm gonna restock. Jazz Flute. When a dude evades, he gains 10% increased crit chance for 2 seconds. I mean, we do not have a lot of evade, and that's not a high crit chance, and it's not a long period of time. And it just affects the guy that evades, so I don't think so. Four Skeledudes appear to assist you at the start of each round. That really doesn't make much difference. I really wish it would bring back those 2 amazing artifacts, or relics that we couldn't afford before. So we're gonna keep fishing. Blade of Shield, a knight. We don't have knights. Only 5. Gains temporary health equal to 100% of the healing received in 3 seconds. I mean, that's really good. We're just not specializing in those. Dude gets knocked out. All active dudes gain 20% run speed for the remainder of the round. This effect is stacked times. Strange spores and the dude juice. Buy it just so that it stops showing up and preventing us from getting the ones we really want. Cosmic Geode, reduce the market cost of meteors by 50% and increase the radius 60% and the damage 100%. I mean, you only have 3 meteors, but probably we'll get that. Zombie dudes have a 0.5% chance when taking damage to explode, dealing damage to surrounding enemies equal to double the zombie dude's max hit points. This explosion knocks out the zombie dude. I don't know that I want that to happen. If it were on, like, the Skeledudes, that would be okay, but really want my zombies to die. Actually, 520 damage would be a lot. But, I mean, they get up to like 70 DPS. So, yeah, I'm not in love with it. Let's go ahead and buy this. The burner phone. Dude juice. One more restock. Still not getting the stuff I wanted. Dude takes damage that drops below 30%. Again, 100% bleed for 3 seconds. Why not? Loaded dice. Yeah, we're still not using those. I mean, I would use them here, but I can't. Alright, the restock's getting a little expensive, so... One more. Battle him. Paladin's Blessing. Really good for Paladins. Blessing targets 20% more damage and 30% more run speed. Ion Storm. Reduce the merchant cost of Bottle Lightning by 50% if Bottle Lightning is used. First 3 seconds, it deals double damage and stuns for 300% more. That's quite good. I mean, this is the last time we're going to be able to buy before the boss. I'll go one more time. Phonax. Skeledudes deal 40% increased damage and gain 50% increased run speed? What? Yes. Thank you. Great Helm. When any dude taunts an enemy, he gains 3% of his max hit points as temporary health for 3 seconds. Can stack and applies for each enemy taunted. Yeah, I mean, that's great for knights, but we hardly have any. Keep saying it, but one more. Universal healthcare, plus 10% max hit points to everybody. Egg. Okay. Now we'll just exhaust ourselves. Loaded dice. I've seen that one a bunch of times. Night dude. Man, how did we go through so many restocks and we never saw those 2 that we wanted? Meteor. Or Dubious. I don't even want to know where he's getting this stuff. Alright, light it up. Barely even killed any skeletons. Good pocket dice. Skeletons are now doing 34 DPS. 64. 35 for the necro dudes. The dudes combined with their skeletons are doing quite a lot. That's more than cleric fleet. And it's equivalent to the zombies. Lots of DACA now. That is good. However, we have so many clerics. Actually, 11,000 plus 14,000, 25,000. Yeah, the clerics are still doing way more damage. Probably because their AoE heals are doing damage. But the Necro plus Skeleton is doing more than the Zombie now. So why not get more? Everybody going We didn't even lose a skeleton that time. Holy crap. Still don't know which of these we want. Being able to summon more units throughout the fight is just super good. Better when they're stacked up. Start knocking some of our guys down. Actually, not really, because we have protections against being knocked down, so they would have had to knock our guys down like twice at least. Okay, finally, round 100. 1 unicorn, 30 stallions, 106 horses. It's going to be a lot of trampling. Oh! Well, you didn't tell me there was going to be a merchant here. I wouldn't have spent so much on restocks. Battle standard plus 5% crit chance for everybody. That's okay. Better than chest plate for us. Health potion is very nice. Yes, we'll take this, but it's nowhere near as good as those other ones we saw before. What if I restock and we see both of them again? That's what happened last time. Lightning, it's super cheap now. Liquid Courage. All dudes take 10% less damage. That's one of the ones we wanted. Hell yeah. That's gonna make us much easier to stay, to sustain. It's much harder to kill. Ooh, if I spend $50 on restock, we're gonna have $1 more than we need to buy a relic. So everybody gets 10% more max hit points. Per boxers each time merchant do shop in stock, there's 25% chance of extra restock shop for free. I mean, we already have the one free restock guaranteed each time. Stocks are free. I don't know how long that would take to pay off. We're gonna go with the tattered shoes. And that is all of our money. So here we go. This is the final setup for what may be the final battle. I think we are very well prepared. But it shall be tested. All right. Lightning, baby. yo. 2 paladins are our only casualties. 180,000 damage from the clerics, and 105,000 of that was attack. 24,000 was cleave. Wow. 51,000 was clerical error. That is a really, really good relic. 83,000 healing done. God, half of that healing was from Divine Pulse, bro. Half of it. Where's it? What's the one that increases it based on their target's health amount, right? It's one of the more recent ones. I don't know. We don't see that icon anywhere over there. Maybe I'm just blind. It's showing up for some reason. Well, I was thinking of holy water. So it is something else. That's what I got earlier. I remember the name. It's not showing up. Weird. Well, anyway. Holy water did do a lot. 20,000. Damage prevented. 30,000 from protected cloak. Yep. Temporary HP. That's funny. The clerics actually absorbed the most damage. I mean, it kind of makes sense since we have more of them than anybody else, but... Well, we had 42 skeletons. And they did absorb almost as much damage. Makes sense. $154,000 from the zombies is good. Alright. Well, that's fight number 100. Is that the end? At full class, when your dudes drop below 50% health, they have a 25% chance to recover 10% of their health. Okay, well that could actually activate a whole bunch of times in quick succession with our clerics healing them. So like drop below 50% and then get healed back above it, and that could just happen over and over and over. Once every 5 seconds per dude. Pretty good. When a dude gets knocked out during a match, all active dudes heal for 15. I mean, that would be good if we had even more skeletons, probably. A lot of dudes get 30% increased max hit points and can bless 2 additional dudes. That would be fantastic for paladins. We could re-roll, see if we can get something better, but I think we'll go with full class. Round 101. It actually keeps going. 36 silverback gorillas. Holy crap. Your dudes start apart from each other unless the relic overpowers this effect. I have a feeling it's just going to be nothing but boss fights from here on. Sounds good to me. Damage. on the very first post 100 boss battle.
得有生命量。
But we got 1, 2 back. 1,000 bees. We're gonna make use of that meteor. 54 big ones. And our zombies cleave is not going to be effective. Actually, all of our guys have quite a bit of cleave. So that's gonna hurt us. We got 1,000 bucks. Nowhere to spend it. I don't know if we're gonna see any more mercenary or any more merchants. Small dudes have 50% run speed as well. Let's drop right off the bat. Hope it's such a large area of protection. I love it. Clear out the almost all the regular bees are dead, but there's a lot of big bees. Let's see how it There's still a lot of these big bees. Got one back. Burner phone. How many do we have down? 9. Quite a bit. Let's use a dude. I got all our clerics back, which is what I care about most. 580 gooses. 57 horse-sized ducks. Enemies have a 25% chance to ignore taunt. Don't care. Well, care a little bit. Since our zombie dudes taunt at the start. Only the one time. Okay. Meteor. just angry. Alright, I'm still not creating much, everybody. Up 14 unicorns. The unicorns do hit hard, so they're pretty scary. 560 rams. Oh boy. That's a tough one. Let's do another meteor. Zombies almost out-damaged the clerics there, even though there's significantly less of them. Now we got a meteor, burner throne, and a health potion. That's excellent. There is a merchant still. Gain 1% max HP for every dude of the same family under Team 2 max of 20%. Bad. Zombies gain 50% run speed. In addition, when zombie dudes are knocked out, their skeleton emerges from the body as the skeleton continues to fight. I will take that. And I guess I will take bonfire as well. Take the health potion. Parry buckler, all dudes have a 5% chance to block incoming attacks. That's nice. Increase the max hit points of night dudes by 30%. That would be awesome if we had a ton of those. Gotta do the parry buckler. Blood Lightning. I wish we had a relic that made Doot Juice cost half as much. I feel like we probably should just buy that pretty much every opportunity we have now that we're going to be going through our consumables. 16 polar bears. Like we should be okay, but I don't know. Okay, definitely not. Okay, 94 alpha wolves is super scary. Those guys do a lot of damage. And they focus down low health guys. That's going to be gnarly. And 310 wolves on top of it. Oof. That's rough. Okay, well, let's start with the meteor. Follow up with another 25,000 healing done. 77,000 damage prevented by those guys. 46,000 by the Skeledudes. 71,000 absorbed by the Skeledudes. Yep. We are very, very tanky. One toddler. One. Okay. Okay. Sure. Zoom over there. Okay, just lost a couple of dudes. They went through a lot of skeletons, but that's fine. That is what skeletons are for. Clerics and zombies almost perfectly matching on damage. And what, 106,000 combined for the necromancers and the skeletons? Not bad. More clerics. 73 big bees. Dude, healing effects are reduced 25%. No! That's hacks. Can't do this to me. concerned about having exhausted our sustaining consumables. He's gained 2% increased damage every second. Oh my god. That's crazy. 760 gooses. Are you kidding me? Zombies gain 20% damage and now passively heal 3% of their max hit points every second? What? That's crazy, bro. That's so good. Reduce the cost of health potions 50%, and health potions now heal everybody instead of half of your guys. That doesn't really make a difference because, I mean, when you use it, it's like half of your dudes are significantly injured and the other half aren't. But Shrunken Head, I will take as many times as you want to give it to me. That's insane. That is so good. Good juice. There's both paladins. Health potion. All dudes gain 20% increased evasion for 8 seconds. It's not very long. Bean Burrito, dude gets knocked out, he creates a burst of toxic gas when he lands, dealing damage 4x DPS to nearby enemies. We have dudes going down. I mean, great for the skeletons. Also, the skeletons don't have that much DPS. I don't know. 17 bears and 113 gorillas. Alright, let's get everybody back up. Oh, almost everybody. Close enough, I hope. Is always welcome. Welcome to the family, my friend. Still got 7 guys. Huh. 202 alphas and 33 unicorns. Oh my god. Units take damage for 1% of their max hit points every second? Bro! This is getting downright amazing. Definitely too juicy. Yep. Especially since a lot of the clerics.
Oh yeah.
God, still didn't get all our clerics back. I wish it would fill in you could choose like which to prioritize for reviving. 158 big bees, and they get 2% damage every second. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna make it on this one. I think this is the end of the road. 22 zombies. Rough.
Deo sono via.
Alright, well, it's gonna take like all our juice to get these guys back up. Yep, literally all of it. Wasn't even enough. $246 alpha wolves will be the end of us. Especially with us taking 1% max hit point damage per second. Like, how are you supposed to deal with this if you don't have clerics? That I don't understand. Clerics just seem absolutely necessary. Alright, into the line. Final fight will be round 113. More than I thought. 90 wolves with us. Not bad. Collectibles. My goodness. It does seem like you can only have 6, maybe 5 or 6 classes, because I never got offered any other classes after that, and there are many more, so let's see what these are. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do, but okay. Well, anyway, this is how the game starts. One regular dude to rule them all against 10 toddlers. Punch them out, my brother. They came into this world 5 minutes ago, and they're gonna go out. Bloody and bludgeoned. What a champ. So yeah, here's some Necro dudes, Paladin dudes. I have not seen these before. General dudes. Every 4 seconds, General dude commands a random dude of the type immediately below him on the roster to taunt up to 3 nearby enemies. Weird. So he's a support that turns some other class into a tank. Knights. Just stack up paladins. Bless everybody. We can take rats and duck-sized horses, right? Not even. Cool punch for the finish. Invincible.
Oh yeah.
More damage. That was so easy. Haven't used wizards yet. 5% chance per attack to cast a fireball, dealing 3 times DPS, split among enemies in the blast area. I don't like this split among enemies part. It just removes the benefit of AoE mostly. We only have a 5% crit chance. Them going invisible just means other people are going to get attacked. I don't know about that. Seems like Necro dudes are better than either of these, but we'll go with it. Ghosties and duck-sized horses.
Oh yeah.
Casting Fireball, the wizard has a 25% chance to cast an additional Fireball. This can chain off of itself. Now we're talking. But 30% damage, better. Definitely better. Certainly would have liked that move. Oh. Gotta take it because it's free. Let's move paladins to the bottom. Oh, wait, to the top. And go, go, go against 51 toddlers. Oh man, toddlers can take us.
Oh yeah. Might not be the best game ever, but it's decent fun. A bard. Sure. Well, my voice is going out, so I'm going to stop it here. But thanks for joining in this ridiculous adventure. And I will bounce at you again some other time. Bye-bye.